Hey, what's up, guys? It's Anything TV here. Today, I watched Hunter x Hunter Season 1. Now, there's been a lot of anticipation for me watching this series. Maybe not so much on my channel, but from my inner circle. Number one is my friend J-Man Flame Gaming. This man is a heavy supporter of this series, and it didn't help that I used to just trash talk the series for no reason. You know, saying that Naruto was better, da 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 da. And then my other friend Brian, he was trying to get me into the series too, so I was like, you know what? Let me do a surprise review to make these boys happy, you know? So I watched Season 1 last night, and here's my review on it. So basically, we have the main characters, Gon, Killua, Leorio, and I think the last one's name is Caprica. I can't really say his name correctly, but that's kind of how you say his name. And we have them going on the hunter exams, right? So the main character is Gon. You know, he's a protagonist, and we start out with him, and he wants to leave town to become a hunter because his dad's a hunter. So he wants to meet his dad one day and become a hunter just like him. So that's why he leaves the town on the hunter exam, and his character design is like, he wears green clothes, has a fishing pole, you know, and I'm not gonna cap, he's kind of sick. I like him a lot. And basically, while on the ship to the hunter exam, this is where he meets Leorio and Caprica. I'm sorry, I'm probably saying his name wrong again, but yeah, that's where he meets those two. And the story behind these two is Leorio just wants to make money for I'm gonna tell you the actual story behind Leorio that you find out later. But basically, his friend died because of the disease, and basically they didn't have enough money to pay for any treatment or cure for him, right? So Leorio, he wanted to become a doctor so that never happens again, so he could just start basically healing people without. I think this is 100% correct. I might be a little bit wrong, a little bit off, but he just wants to cure people for free so they don't have to worry about the money anymore, you know? That's his whole thing. He's like, money is everything, money is everything. Like, how shocked do you think I was that when I tried to be a doctor, even that requires money? You know what I'm saying? So he wants to make sure that people are cured for free, basically. But he didn't have enough money, so he wants to become a hunter so he can stockpile all this money, and so that he can become a doctor and actually learn that stuff for free, you know, that he can teach people and do operations on people for cheap, you know, for not that much money. So that's what he wants to do. I think he's like the only backstory I may be a little bit off of, because I don't really 100% remember him correctly, but that's basically the gist of his backstory. Now, Karapuka, his backstory is that his family was killed by I forgot what the clan was called. I think it was like the Shadow Bandits. I believe that's what it was called. Actually, no. Actually, no. It wasn't the Shadow Bandit. I'm now remember. It was the Phantom Troop. His family was killed by the Phantom Troop, and I believe they're all marked by spiders, like a spider tattoo in their back with a number in it, right? So his family was killed by them because of their rare eyes. Basically, their eyes turn red when they get like so much anger and like emotion inside their bodies. Their eyes turn red, so that's why they killed them to take their eyes, right? And Karapuka is the only remaining survivor of his family, so that's why he's alive, and that's why he wants revenge on them. So that's why he's trying to become a hunter. So Gon meets these two on the ship to get to the first hunter exam, and eventually they get to the hunter exam, and the ship person tells them, okay, you need to go this way, and the whole group of three goes in that direction, and they get tested on their way to that direction, right? So the test was like, they gave them a choice of basically choosing between your mother and your lover, and there was no right answer, so they just stayed silent. And that was the right answer, because you can't really choose in that situation. Like, the only best answer is to stay silent. And Gon was like, oh, well, I might have to choose that one day. You know, I want to think that over, you know. But eventually we get to the first phase of the hunter exam, and that one is The first phase is, I'm not sure. Let me remember. Yeah, the first phase was definitely when the whole group of the people who got to the hunter exams, because the location of the hunter exam is kind of discreet, so not a lot of people made it there. I believe the number was like 1 in 10,000 actually made it there, or something like that, some high number like that. So basically the first phase of the exam was running to the other phase of the exam. I don't know how long this hallway was, but basically they were running there and it took a lot of endurance. But Gon and Killua got there first. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that Gon and Killua met in this little meeting area with all the people at the hunter exams, and they quick became friends, you know. And Killua's backstory is that his family are assassins, and he left his family when he stabbed his mother and his brother, and he promised to come back and kill them. You know, that's basically what his story is. But anyways, they get to the second phase after they walk there. Right? The whole group makes it, right? And the second phase is trying to make it through this forest, which is very misty and like very foggy. You can't really see in front of you, full of animals that can that can copy humans, you know, interpret their sayings and moves, you know, and that they're carnivores and they want to eat you. So you have to get through that forest, and we get our first encounter with Hisoka. And Hisoka is basically, I feel like he's a villain, right? He's extremely strong, maybe on the level of one of the examiners in the series. Extremely strong, and basically he had people try to go after him, and he killed them. And then with Leorio, I believe that Leorio was gonna challenge him, and of course, if he's gonna challenge him straight on, like he was trying to challenge him, Leorio was gonna die, right? And then God comes out of nowhere, and he basically saves Leorio, and Leorio's like passed out on the floor. And Hisoka says, "Okay, God, you pass." Now this part had me confused, because I kind of thought he was an examiner. No, he's not an examiner. He was just passing him on his own merits. Like, oh, you passed for like what I think you should be, right? Then Hisoka promises to carry Leorio to the final, to phase 3, right? And he carries him to phase 3, and then he asks Gon if he knows how to get to phase 3, but Gon already knows, because what Gon does, he can track the scent. Like he has a really good nose, so he tracks the scent of Leorio's cologne to phase 3, right? So phase 3, they all made it. Kurapika, Killua, Leorio, and Gon, they all made it to phase 3. And phase 3 is basically a cooking contest. And what's funny about this phase is that every single person failed, right? Because the gourmet chefs that was judging it, the food had no flavor, the food wasn't good enough for them. Every single person failed. And that's when one of the top examiners from the examiner committee had to step in and basically said you can't fail every single one of them, right? So they had a different competition where you had to go get eggs from like the bottom of a ravine and boil them. So basically that's what they did. Some people died, but our group made it through. And I believe phase 4 was like a prison, and you had to get from the top of the prison to the bottom of the prison, right? So we have 4 of our characters: Killua, Gon, Kapruka, and Leorio. So they figure out how to get to the first floor of the prison, which is just a trap door, but they have to wait for one more person to fall through the trap door. And the last person is of course this, I forgot his name. I really don't even care to mention his name because I did not like him at all. It was this character. He's basically like the rookie buster, where he just tries to mess up everybody's hunter exam, because he does not like that people are like passing, because he tried like 30 different times and he still failed. So he's just trying to mess up everybody else's exams now, and he's of course the 5th one to fall in, right? So basically the rules of this prison is that majority rules, they all get to vote on whichever decision they decide to do. And of course the one that's always messing them up is this guy who's trying to make them lose, So he's the one that's always messing them up. And they get to the first like fight of the prison. And this fight is against other prisoners, right? And not like prisoners in the sense like other hunter examinees there. No, these are like actual prisoners who are in jail for like 200 years, right? So they go against other prisoners, and one prisoner wants to fight, and of course this prisoner who wants to fight is going against the one who's trying to sabotage anyone. So he's like, no, I'll go up. And once he goes up, he surrenders, and they lose that battle. And it's basically it's first to 3 wins for that fight. So the other team gets 1 point. And then with the second fight, I believe it was, who was it? I believe it was Leorio versus this gambling chick. Actually, no. The second fight was Kurapika versus this like blue prisoner, and like he basically beats him to a pulp because he reminds him of one of the Phantom Troop that killed his family. And even though he knows it's not him, it still reminds him, so it makes him like go like kind of crazy. Then after that, it's Leorio versus this gambling chick, and basically in the end they win. But they have to sacrifice 50 hours, right? So you only have 72 hours to get through the prison. But they had to sacrifice 50 hours to one of the matches because they lost one of the matches, and it was like a whole thing. So after they won this round, they had to go to a room, sit there for 50 hours, and they only had about 10 hours left after this, right? And they still have one more round, like one more floor to get to. And once they got to that, it was basically another majority rules thing. It's like, okay, one door takes about 50 hours to get through, but the whole team can go through that door. The other door takes about 3 minutes to get to, but only 3 people can go through that door, right? So everybody's fighting, and Gon being Gon, he's low-key strategic, right? Gon is low-key strategic, and he's like, okay guys, how about this? How about we choose the 50-hour one, but then we break the wall, because there was like weapons in the room for them to kill each other, because like that's how the prisoner exams were. He's like, okay, how about we just break the wall on the other side with these weapons they gave us? And everybody's like, Khan, you're so smart. So they break the wall, and they all make it to, I believe, phase 5 now. Now phase 5 was basically they gave all the hunter examinees badge numbers, and they had to get those badge numbers. And the badge numbers, of course, were other students, right? So in this phase, we get our first interaction between like an actual fight between Gon and Hisoka, right? And Gon is like plotting on Hisoka to get his badge because that's who he has for his badge, and he gets it. Like he's following him all day undetected, and he waits for him to cross the intersection when he's about to kill someone, and he uses his fishing line to he doesn't even attack Hisoka, he snatches his badge, alright? And right when he snatches his badge, he walks away, and then he gets sniped by his hunter, you know, the person who wants his badge. He's like, okay, thank you for the badge. But then Hisoka kills that dude. It's like a whole freaking food chain type crap, right? And then he says, he basically says, I'm proud of you for being able to take my badge, but I'm gonna give this to you because now I have enough badges to win, and you only need this to win, so I'm gonna let you win too, right? And it's not like a nice guy thing. It's basically like I'm only gonna actually fight you when you cause a threat to me. Like when you're ready, that's when I'll fight you, right? And God's like, don't give me this, I lost, don't give me this, I don't want it. And Hisoka just socks him, and then he says, when you can sock me like that, then you can return that badge to me. And he walks away like a boss. I low-key like Hisoka, bro, that's my guy. Alright, so after this, we goes to phase 6 of the hunter exams, and the whole group is still made it, right? They still made it to the phase 6, and this phase is like one-on-one fighting, but the loser ascends every time they lose, right? So basically, there's only going to be one loser, right? And in the first round, it's Gon versus this like martial arts guy, and the martial arts guy is beating him badly, but he refuses to leave. And like that that makes the martial arts guy like him, so he basically forfeits the match. He's like, okay, whatever. And Gon is like in the ICU. And the martial art guy, he wins the next round. And then Gon wakes up and the whole exam finished. And basically the guy's filling him in on what happened. Basically everyone won, like our team won, right? Except one. Like I was actually worrying because I felt like they all should have won. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think that he should have did that. Like that wouldn't be a good author's decision to make the whole group go through the whole examination, every single person win. You know, it's like a Naruto. Like Naruto didn't become I believe it was like a Chunin, I think. He didn't become that. He was still a Genin. He still is a Genin, right? So basically, Killua did not win. And you want to know why? Because Killua went against this other guy who had pins in his face and stuff, and this guy turns out to be his brother, right? He takes the pins out of his face. He's like, listen, what's up, Kill? And Kill's like looking at this guy in dread. He's like, brother? And this guy's talking to Killua about how he will always be an assassin, da-da-da-da, and his eyes are like hypnosis, you know? You look into his eyes, there's like a big swirl of letters and stuff like that. It's like hypnosis. And I feel like he hypnotized Kill, and then after this fight, Kill forfeits the fight. He goes on, and then right after this fight, he kills Leorio's opponent, so he's automatically disqualified. So that makes him the loser and everybody else the winner. And then he goes home. Like he goes home to his assassin family. And the people believe, like the other examinees believe that he was hypnotized, but the examination people, they're like, listen, we made our decision. Our decision is final. That's it. All right. And basically, season 1 ends off with Gon, Leorio, and Kapruka going to find Gon and pick him up from his family. And once they get there, like they learn about the history of his family, how strong they are. But basically, Gon has a conversation with his dad, which like his dad for the first time is loving to him. And his dad says, listen, bro, you can go with your friends if you want, right? And he's allowed to go with his friends now, which is a good thing. So Gon leaves his house. He leaves with Gon. Why did I say Gon leaves his house? I mean, Killua leaves his house and he leaves with Gon and everyone else, right? And then basically, Kapruka says he's gonna leave to try to get some money so that he can finally kill the Phantom Troop, right? And Leorio said he's gonna try to actually study to be a doctor now. So now it's just gonna be Gon and Killua training to beat Hisoka, because Gon still doesn't want to use his hunter's pass until he beats Hisoka, because he doesn't see himself as a hunter, right? So yeah, that's season 1, and my rating on the season, I give it a solid 8.3 out of 10. Now I'm not gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because that's almost perfect. I did not think that the series was almost perfect. Yeah, I really don't feel like the series was almost perfect, but it did give me old Naruto vibes and stuff like that. So I really thought the series was a solid 8.3, you know? I don't think it was perfect like a 9, and I don't think it was a 7. I don't think this show was average. It was definitely above average. Which definitely is a good show. And I can definitely see the potential. It could end up being a 9 by the time I see all 4 seasons. But so far, season 1 for me is an 8.3. And my favorite characters are definitely Gon and Killua. Actually, no, let me alter that. My favorite characters are Killua and Leorio. I love Leorio because he's just funny. And Killua, bro, he just seems like such a savage, bro. That's what I like about him. But anyways, that's gonna be my review for season 1 of Hunter x Hunter. I will be making a review for season 2, 3, and 4 in the future. Don't know when those are gonna come out yet though. So thanks for listening to my review. I hope you guys drop like a sub or drop a like, you know. I really appreciate that. And hopefully more videos like this are coming in the future. I already watched like shows like Naruto, and I already watched shows like maybe Naruto is the only show I watched. Whatever though. I mean, I'll try to see if I can seek out some new shows in the future so that I can review them. Like maybe Yu Yu Hakusho or something, you know. But yeah, thanks for watching. Drop a sub, drop a like, And I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.